Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I hope everybody had a good drive to work this morning. Hope you didn't get any accidents walking down the hallway or spill your coffee. Hey, let's make sure. Russell, is there sound? Can you hear me? Just want to make sure the mic is working and everything. Cool. All right. Hey, good morning, Jan. Hey, Phil. Good deal. Thanks, Russell. All right. So let's start off with T2122. Okay. So the yellow line that represents, that's the T2122. The red line is the 17 exponential. It's just there to be there. It doesn't, I don't know that I have any value with that 17 being in this. Now that we're down below 80, you can see how we're down. We rose up and we're coming down. So we've got some failed highs here. We may need to sneak all the way down here before the market sees any major moves up. Now that's not saying that something couldn't happen. An example, maybe Home Depot's earnings or Walmart's earnings that beat, maybe that's enough to just yank this market back into the good and we just start back up. That's very possible. But when we're down in this area right here, I find that trading gets a little bit sloppy, a little tough maybe, choppy. That's the word I was trying to get to. A little choppy. A lot of people have trouble in chop. I have trouble in chop. So once we do, let's just make that yellow and get that down there. Once we do get there, and it may be, one of these things like this. Once we get here and then we can start back up, that will smooth trading out a little bit. I truly believe that. I've seen this so much in here. When we're in the middle, it's just which way we're going to go. Everybody is, the market is dripping to the downside, and everybody's trying to beat the market, not realizing that the market needs to pull back a little bit more, and we end up getting chopped up. So this is a time for a little bit of caution right now. It really is. Now, everyone knows, I've mentioned this here before, I prefer it when we're up here. I like being in the overbought area. That means the market's strong. So this is what I really like up here. That doesn't mean I'm not going to trade down here, but it does mean that I want to be a little careful when we're in this area right here. So just a little cautious for now. Let's see what happens. Let price action tell you what to do. If the market, there we go. If the market starts to break out today, I think that'll be a positive. I think that'll be a great thing, and that could turn that T2122 around and start us moving up. We are set up for a bullish J-hook. We absolutely are. And that's a continuation pattern. Continuation is just a sign that the buyers are still interested in continuing the trend that it has been in. That's all it is. And in this area, it can chop us up if we're not careful. So let's be careful. Let's wait for those signs and those clues. Now, on the other hand, if if the sellers start coming in here, boom, we want to take appropriate action. Let those stops work. Very important to let those stops work. Get out of those positions. No reason to hang on if we start moving to the downside. So today, my big thing is, here we've got this downtrend line here. I'm just going to put a line right there. And I'm just using this 17 EMA. This is one of the ways I use a moving average. We fall below that 17, so outside of this box to the down. I'm sorry, that's the T line, excuse me. I changed this all up the other day. I'm not sure I'm going to keep it this way, but for now I am. The green dots are the T line, okay? Green dots are T line. So if we drop below the T line, I'm not sure I'm going to be very excited, because what will that do? Well, that will prove that this resistance area is working. is what that proves. So then we'll have to wait till the bulls come back in and then create its own support at this time down here, create that support, and then we're going to have to see that bullish setup. Bullish setup might be something like, if we come down, a bullish setup might be something like a low, a high, a higher low, and a breakout. Then we can maybe look for some bullishness. So a little caution right now. What else was I going to? Oh, VIX. Let's look at that. The VIX. We're headed to the downside on the VIX. That's great. The problem that I have is this whole area right through here. I have to be a little bullish on this chart pattern, and what I'm bullish on is the fact we've gone from a high to a low to a high to a low and to a high. The bullish W pattern, we did break out. We are back below that. That's great if we are a bull. That's fantastic. But the chart doesn't care if I draw little blue W's here. The market doesn't care. The market doesn't care if I draw a pretty square box around that. Market doesn't care. So these are like our rules. These are our okay, well, if. So as an example, if we stay down here, the bulls are going to do their job. If we come back above this area, then the sellers are going to come in and thump some bull butt. So, like I said, the market could care less that we draw all these lines here. The market does not care. We draw these lines, we look at these boxes, we look at these areas, and it's if we cross back up here, if we stay down here. And that's what we watch. All right, sorry, I didn't mean to talk all through all that. Let's look at some trades. Here. LCID, nice little candle so far pre-market this morning. When we look at a chart, the entry is negotiable. The entry is not. I really think a whole lot of traders miss the point of trading. Now, this is my opinion, okay? There's other traders. If you're making it work, your way works, and you may totally disagree with me. And you may agree. I don't know. But my opinion is that a lot of traders miss the point of swing trading. And somewhere, somehow, we got it in our mind that we've got to buy at the very low. Somehow we got it in our mind to do that. We were taught buy low, sell high. Well, buying right here could be buying low. Let's see here. If it goes up here. So when we look at a chart, we want to look at a chart and, well, where do we think the chart's going? Now, this is the most dumbest thing I think well, you guys probably know a lot of dumber things I say. A trend will stay in a trend until it's no longer a trend. That simple. That is a very corny thing to say, but it is the absolute truth. So I'm going to draw another line there so that it stays. So we're just going to draw that trend. Now, you can put this line on low. You can put it wherever you want. Or you can just put it up here just to remind you it's in a trend. So if we think this can go back to this top, what it becomes now is a negotiation. Val, I'm going to use you, okay? It becomes a negotiation between Val and Val. No one else. The negotiation is, where is Val going to enter this chart? She may enter it here. Val may say, you know what, I'm going to wait for a pullback. Maybe you did put a good, trend lining on the bottom. Maybe you're going to do that. Maybe you're going to wait for this. But it doesn't change the fact you're just negotiating an entry, because this is where you think it's going. It's not that oh, I have to buy at the bottom. That's missing the point, I believe, in swing trading. Swing trading is find a chart that you think is going up based on the technicals. That's what we look at, the technicals. Then you analyze where you think it's going to go to, and then you negotiate that entry. Completely negotiable. Okay, sorry. If I bought this right in here, I would probably have to use a stop. I'm going to have to get up here, maybe in the neighborhood of $45, $46 for a stop. CLX. I like what CLX is doing. This is a rounded bottom breakout. This is the chart, one of the charts we're going to be looking at a lot of charts, a lot of explanation. This Thursday and Saturday. Thanks for those that have signed up. I'm very excited. Looking forward to it. Very nice rounded bottom here. We've got nice low, nice high, nice low. Kind of stumbled and tripped on itself right in here, and then up we go. We're running right into the dotted deuce just on cue. Absolutely on cue. And now what I'm looking for is, one, do we like this chart pattern? I'm going to have to say yes. Two, where do I think it can go? This is where I think it can go. Three, I think I'll just negotiate an entry in here. Now, I'm not going to try to, I'm not going to spend my entire day staring at a chart waiting for it to come back down to this bottom. I probably won't stare at the chart waiting for a pullback or a breakout right here. If I decide to buy this chart, I'm going to buy this chart. It's just about negotiating an entry. And I'm not a good negotiator. I'm really not. I will admit that. Not only in trading, but in life as well. I don't negotiate very well. If I can see the value of this chart and I think it can go here, then I'm just going to buy this chart in here. But everybody might be different. Some people might look at a 5-minute chart, a 15-minute chart, 10-minute chart, 3-minute chart, whatever trips your trigger, providing it works. If it doesn't work, stop doing it. ERX. I think I've got CVX in here as well. If you see the value in oil right now, if you see oil going up, and if you look, I'm going to go to a weekly chart just so we can see the chart here, the whole thing. There you go. You can see this big down move here. Here is a nice uptrend that we've got going on this ERX. This is a good one to play if you don't want to try to pick one oil chart, energy chart. If you want the basket, this might be something to consider, the basket. And so I've got to look at this and I've got to think, all right, where am I going to enter it? And we're going to go back to the daily for that. But where do I think it can go? And I'm going to look at this chart. We've got this gap here. You've got the dotted deuce right here. This is a terrific weekly rounded bottom breakout, by the way. And so I think it can get up there. So what does that represent? Let's just, move this about here. What does that represent? 100%. Not too shabby of a trade, is it? Now, for those that know me, you know that I'm not one to buy this and hold it all the way up here. That's not me. I could trade this 50 times between here and here, but we're all different. You all trade something a little different right in here. So the point is, we're looking at this. I think it's a dynamite chart. I think it's got great upside potential. Now let's go back to the daily. Do we have to buy it in here? if we see 100% move on the weekly chart, do we have to mess with it in here? Or why can't we just come up here and wait for that breakout like that? Wait for that breakout to get up there. Go ahead and break out. And then we're going to look for the same setups we always look for. And I think a lot of people in this room kind of look for very similar type setups. You know, that pullback type move. But it's all about a negotiation in here. There's going to be some traders, and in fact, we could take this and move it down there like that. If you put every trader in the world that was looking at this chart, and you put a dot where every trader entered, it would be in this box here, it would fill that box up. It's just about negotiation. Some people are going to get it down here. Some people are going to wait up here. That's okay. But we all can see where the potential here might be in ERX on the weekly. Let's take a look at WYNN. Sorry, I'm taking too long here. WYNN is set up. Another rounded bottom breakout. We're headed up to the dotted deuce. I don't know that I'm interested in buying WYNN right here unless it does something. Because we're too close to a known area of resistance. We'll be covering this pretty heavily in that class. And so I'm kind of thinking that I'm going to put a buy box up here as well. Because if WYNN continues, there we go with that if again. If WYNN continues, I think it's going up here to 112. And it could easily break out and go higher, but let's just stay with one. Let's climb one little branch on this tree at a time. Let's get to here first. So what I'm going to wait for, I think anyway, I can't predict what I'm going to do 2 hours from now based on what the market is doing, because I don't know what the market's going to be doing. So ideally, because we have a pop up, I would like a little consolidation. But if that doesn't happen and it starts to move up, we're approaching that dotted deuce there where it is a high probability it gets choppy in here, pulls back in here. So I think what I'm going to have to do is if it does not pull back before it moves up here, then I'm going to have to wait till it pops up and then does that setup again and proves that it can hold this area. And then I still see a trade up here. So you can see it's not about, oh, I have to be in here and that's my trade. More people will go broke. I wish I had a nickel for every trader that started trading and went broke by trying to make that trade right there. I mean, I'm sorry for them, but I wish I had a nickel for everyone that did it. I think I'd be pretty doggone wealthy. Pretty doggone wealthy. Certainly be able to buy gas for my truck. I bought it yesterday. $94. Woo! Anyway, different subject. So I'm going to wait and watch for that entry in this. I'll negotiate that entry for this for best for me. I'll set that stop. Very important to put that stop in there. Don't let your losses kill you. And then we'll see if we make some money. Boeing. I love Boeing. Love Boeing. What a great move yesterday. Look at the volume on that thing. Take a look at this trend that it broke. Sweet. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for it to set up for me. So yesterday was not the setup for me. Today could be. It very well could be. I want to try to negotiate a price in this area. That's what I want to do. And I'm going to wait for the setup. The setup might be we have a doji here and we start breaking out today. That could be it. It could be we end up with an inside day, whatever the candle may be. And then maybe tomorrow we get a buy in here, or the next day, or the next day. I can't predict what that'll be. As traders, we there's three things that we have to look at, and I think we should only accept two of them. One of them is totally unacceptable. One is when we buy a trade, while we expect it to go up, we will accept that, but we have to realize that not every trade is going to be a winner for us or go up right away. Okay, I can handle that. Number two, I can accept if we stay in the area that I have designated as my buy area. Now, somebody else may have a different buy area, okay? I'm not saying this is the almighty here. But I can accept that. But here's what I can control 100%, and here is what I cannot accept, is if it goes below my buy area. It no longer is in favor with me. Now, it doesn't mean I'm going to not keep it on my watch list, but it means that, okay, be gone with you for a while. I'm not going to chase it because some cowboy said that, hey, it's going up here to 273. We are traders. We are not investors. If you're an investor, you're in the wrong room. Sorry, but it's a fact here. We're traders. I cannot accept that trade if it does that. I no longer will negotiate an entry on this until it sets up again. And we can control that 100%. LVY, what a nice chart. Look at that breakout. Look at that pullback there. Beautiful 3/8 strap on my watch list. I don't think I'm going to like it below 114.25. I think I would love it inside this area and a breakout. CVX, nice little chart yesterday. Look at that. Breakout, buy box. I'm willing to buy it here. I'm also willing to buy it a little higher. Right in there. However, I am not willing to accept this chart below 115, and we'll call it 50, 45. I'm not willing to accept it. So it can't be a trade for me under that. TSN, Tyson. So a lot of people in the room, I think a few people got into Tyson yesterday. I think I saw some news this morning. You've got beef, chicken, pork. Chicken is the cheapest, but inflation has raised it up. I really have concerns on this whole inflation thing. I really do. And I think somewhere along the lines, people are going to have they're going to have a come to Jesus meeting with themselves. And we're going to see some cutbacks in households. And I think that's going to ding the market a little bit. Yesterday, seriously, I filled my pickup truck. Now, granted, the light came on. It was empty. $94 and change. And if you go to the grocery store and you start thinking, if you start looking at a budget, and most people have some kind of budget. As wealthy as you may be, you have some kind of budget. And all of a sudden, we might see chicken pick up because it's a little bit cheaper, so you might see sales in that a little more than ribeye steaks, things like that. So a Tyson might be a great play going down the road. It really might be. And where do we think it'll go? I just went to a weekly chart, not because I love the weekly chart. It's because it shows more of the chart. So do we think that Tyson can get to 94.50? Here's a little pro trading tip. If we can get to 94.50, I'm betting we can get to $100. I'm betting we can. So from this level up, right here, go to that 100 mark. That's an 18.5% move. Let's go back to the daily because that's where I'm going to place my trades. I'm going to try to negotiate an entry in here that I can be happy with. And just because I think it might go to that $100 mark doesn't mean I'm just going to willy-nilly buy it. I'm going to wait for my chart setup. 3/8 trap would be a common one. A breakout here, pushing up higher today would be a common entry for me, things like that. So anyway, hey, that's it. That's the last one I have, and that took way too long this morning, folks. Sorry about that. Thank you very much. I'll be back here in about 5 minutes, okay? Take care.